Hi, I'm Todd Henderson. Today we're going to show you how to install the factory style running boards with the 1010 bracket kit on this Chevy Express van. Now this is also going to work for the GMC Savannah, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're on the driver's side at the front. What we're going to do is locate the driver's side bracket that's going to be marked with some white paint. We're also going to locate a support strap, and we're going to assemble these two pieces together. We're going to take a long bolt, go through the hole in the bottom of the bracket. Then we're going to take a washer. Next we're going to use a serrated flange nut, go across the bolt, bring that almost all the way down to where it hits the washer. Bring it up to about there, just so we can still move that bolt around for adjustment. Next, we're going to take another serrated flange nut. Now the serration on the flange nut is going to be paced upwards on this one. And we're going to bring this not quite halfway down the bolt. This is going to be our locking nut. Next, we're going to put another flat washer on top of that serrated flange nut. We're going to set the support plate on top. Then one more serrated flange nut we're going to set in place. We're going to get it just to where the top of the bolt comes up to the top of the head of the nut. What we're going to do is set that assembly in place. This can now be adjusted. What we're going to do is we're going to mark on the pinch weld, or on the rocker panel, where we're going to put the support plate in. Now we're going to remove the support strap from the assembly, set it up in place. Then we're going to use the provided number 14 1-inch long self-tapping screws, using a 3/8 inch driver to put that in place. Next, we're going to go ahead and slide the bolt back up through and set that nut in place there again, just with the top of the bolt flush with the top of the head of the nut. Next, we're going to do the same process in the next bracket back. We're going to go just in front of this rubber grommet. Now this second bracket back is going to be a white tip bracket, just like the first, exact same bracket and exact same assembly. We're going to go ahead and set that in place now too. All right, so now we're going to grab our 39-inch running board. If you have a 100-inch running board, we're going to show you how to install that a little bit later. We're going to take 4 screws, because we've got 2 screws per bracket. We're going to slide them into this channel, 2 into this channel, and then 2 into this channel back here. They slide just in place, and then what we're going to want to do is bring them towards the center of the board, and we're going to lift the board up to the brackets. So next I'm going to set the board on top of the brackets. I'm going to slide the bolts over to the brackets and set them into the slotted holes in the brackets. Once that's been accomplished, I'm going to go ahead and use the serrated flange nuts and put them onto the bolts finger tight. We actually want them to be able to wiggle around just a little bit. All right, next what we're going to do is make sure that the board is centered on the door. We're going to tip the board to where it's nice and level, and up top we're going to take and tighten these bolts to lift the board up into place. Now with the board level and the bracket straight, we're going to use the same number 14 1-inch long self-tapping screws to attach the bracket into the vehicle up at the top. We're going to use 2 self-tapping screws per bracket. All right, next we're going to tighten our lock nuts to the support plate. We use a 1/2-inch wrench. Next we're going to lock this nut down to the bracket here. Now using a 1/2-inch socket, we're going to tighten down the boards to the brackets. Now if you have a double doors on the driver's side as well as the passenger side, you're going to locate your blue brackets. They're going to assemble just the same way as the front brackets, and you're going to have 3 brackets underneath to support the 100-inch board. All right, now we're going to show you how to install the 100-inch. If you're just doing a 39-inch on the passenger side, you're just going to install the front 2 brackets. The front 2 brackets are exactly like the front 2 brackets on the driver's side, and they install the exact same way. And we're going to space them the exact same way on the driver's, as we did on the driver's side. We'll start at the front. All right, now your rear brackets on the passenger side are going to install the exact same way as the brackets on the front, but they're going to be a red bracket painted at the tip. It's going to assemble the same way. Now, the location of those brackets, going to the back, if you've got rear AC, you're going to go past your AC lines. You're going to see a bunch of little rubber grommets in the bottom of the rocker panel. The first bracket is going to go in between the first 2 rubber grommets. The second bracket is going to go just past the 3rd rubber grommet, and the last bracket is going to go just in front of the 4th rubber grommet. And we're going to go ahead and install those now. All right, now here we are between the 1st and the 2nd grommet. Again, we're using the red tip bracket. It's the 3rd one back. Again, now we're just going past the 3rd rubber grommet. Another red tip bracket for our 4th location. now just before the fourth grommet, again, we're going to use the same scenario. And again, for our final bracket, red tip bracket in the back. All right, now we're going to use our bolts that are packaged in a separate bag going into the channels of the running board. Now this is where it's going to mount to the bracket, so we're going to have 5 bolts per channel, just in the first channel and in the last channel. Now we can slide these around to line them up to the brackets. All right, now just like on the driver's side board, we went ahead and we lined up the board. We loaded the bolts in place and lined them up to the brackets. We're gonna make sure all the brackets are perpendicular to the board. The board's also been adjusted front to back to make sure it's in the proper location on the side of the van. Now we're going to loosely install our serrated flange nuts on the bottom of the board. Do that with every bracket. All right, now next, making sure that the bracket stays straight, perpendicular with the board, and also all the way to the edge of the board. We're going to rock the board forward and pull it up to line up the bracket to the pinch weld. Once that's in place, we're going to take our lock nut and bring it down to our support strap to hold it in position. All right, we're going to repeat that on each bracket until the board is set in place with the brackets lined up to the rocker panel. Now, starting from the rear, just like on the driver's side, I'm going to go ahead and put our self-tapping screws up through the bracket into the rocker panel. All right, next we're going to go ahead and tighten up these top ones. We're going to close any kind of gap between the board and the rocker panel. Repeat the process in every bracket. All right, next we're going to go ahead and run up all of our lock nuts by hand and tighten them down with a 1/2 inch wrench. We're going to do that on all 5 of these brackets. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tighten down the lock nut at the bottom of the, where it attaches to the bracket, also using the 1/2 inch.
We're going to do that on?
We're going to do that on every bracket. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tighten down the lock nut at the bottom of the, where it attaches to the bracket, also using the 1/2 inch. We're going to do that on every bracket. All right, now we're going to make sure the board is brought all the way back to the brackets. We're going to tighten it down with a 1/2 inch. Repeat the process in every bracket. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts. We're here to help you out.